Speaking of weathering, what's the weather like where you are today? Weather is another thing geographers look at when they study a place. But since weather can change from one day to the next, geographers are more interested in the kind of weather a place has over a long period of time. The weather pattern of a place over time is called climate. A place's climate is affected by many different things. The most important of these is the sun. The sun gives light and warmth to every place on Earth, but not all places get the same amount of sunlight. This is because of the way the Earth moves around the sun. The Earth is constantly spinning, or rotating, on its axis, an imaginary line running through the center of the Earth. As it spins, the Earth also moves around the sun. This movement is called revolution. The time it takes for the Earth to make one revolution around the sun is called a year. The Earth's axis is not straight up and down, but tilted. Because of this, as the Earth moves around the sun, sunlight hits different parts of the Earth at different times of the year. When the northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun, it gets more direct sunlight. The more sunlight a place gets, the warmer it becomes. Of course, if one side of the Earth is facing towards the sun, the other side is facing away from the sun. So when it is winter in the northern hemisphere, it is summer in the southern hemisphere. But in some places, like Florida, the weather is warm almost all the time. Other places, like the North Pole, stay cold all year round. One reason for this is latitude. Latitude is how far a place is north or south of the equator, measured in the imaginary lines we learned about earlier, called lines of latitude. Since the equator gets direct sunlight all year long, places located here stay warm year-round. The North and South Poles get the least amount of sunlight. In fact, for half the year, they get no sunlight at all. The closer a place is to the poles, the colder its climate. Another thing that can affect a place's climate is elevation. Elevation is how high a place is above sea level. Generally, the higher a place's elevation, the colder its climate. That is why you might see snow on top of a mountain even during the summer. When geographers study a place's climate, they don't just look at how hot or cold it is. They also look at how much rain, snow, or other form of precipitation the place gets. How would you describe the climate of the desert? Hot, definitely. But you might also say the desert is very dry. Places located in the desert receive very little rainfall. If you visited a tropical rainforest in South America, you would say that the climate there is also very hot. But unlike places in the desert, places in the tropics receive a great deal of precipitation. Places located in polar regions near the North and South Poles might also get a lot of precipitation. But since the temperatures there are usually very cold, most of the precipitation is in the form of snow.